Alright, hello guys. We're going to start our Monster Me project today. And as you can see, I got this awesome picture of myself up on the screen. And it's a little bit different than yours, but I try to get a background that I can clean up real quick and easy. You should be able to use the magic wand tool. And if the magic wand tool isn't working, then you're going to have to use a lasso tool. Looks like I'm going to need the lasso tool to do mine to cut it out. You do want to have it cut very, very, very well, so take your time if you're having to do it like this. And even if you use the magic wand tool, you'll want to go back and clean up the edges so you don't have rough edges in the end. Take your time with this. Remember, this is your last project in here, so you got more time with it than we've had with others, and I do expect the time to be put into it. I'm going a little bit quicker than I want to, but it's coming out pretty good. You should have your head, your neck, and your shoulders in the shot. The rest, if the photograph has more in it than that, you can clip some of it out. You don't need all of it. But a good head and shoulder shot is what we're after here. Now, I've gone out ahead of time and I've collected several images that I'm going to use. I figured out what kind of creature I want to make myself before I started. And if I can find my folder, oh, there's my folder. Finally found it. Okay, so I chose a background that was really good in size, really big in size. This is actually 2592 by 1728. Huge background to use. You only need 1024 by 768, but it can be this big. This is a good background to use. So I'm going to close this one. I don't need that anymore. Then I'll paste in the image of me. You can see I have a little bit of resizing to do. You do want to consider lighting in this. This is a pretty shaded or shadowy picture. So I'm going to actually mess with this layer of me first here. I'm going to go to adjustments and probably brightness and contrast and turn the brightness down just a little bit. Until it looks like it goes well with the background. Now you don't want to make it too dark because I am going to print these out and display them, so make sure you have enough light in there that you can see what's going on. And then start opening other things that you're going to use. I do want you to play around with textures. So maybe some fish scales. So this will work, except that's the wrong direction. Edit, free transform, I'm going to turn it. And I'll just put the transparency down. And then I'll simply erase what I don't need. Now again, I would take quite a bit of time and care to do this, or I might even use my lasso tool again and just cut pieces off of this particular layer. I can pretty quickly, pretty quickly go in and just start cutting, trimming pieces of this off. And getting rid of it. I would want to go in and carefully erase around the eyes and the mouth and the nose also, so that those things show up really well. The lips. And again, I'm going about this really quickly, and I would go back and actually blur the edges after I erase. Blur the, oops, that doesn't work too well. Oh, there we go. Or I would copy the color underneath and try to paint over top at a low opacity. That way it would start to blend together. Now, one thing you do want to avoid is completely covering your face. Now, I did change the opacity down so I can see myself. You want to make sure that you do that so you can actually see yourself. You just don't want it to be you in the end, not something entirely different. And I'm going to say at least 8 different layers will be good for this composition. 8 or more layers. Again, I'm clipping this out pretty quickly. Now this is an object that I could actually use again, so I'm just going to go edit paste again. Now I have a second one. I'll go to edit free transform. I'm just going to flip it the opposite direction. Turn it to the place I need it and put it in. Now again, I did this really fast and there's some rough edges that I really should go back and clean up. And I do want this to look like it's coming out of this surface, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of painting over top. I'll probably go down to that particular layer and copy the fish scale color. Choose my paintbrush, go back up to this layer, put the opacity down, and my brush size up a little bit. Try to blend it in a little. And then I'll put the opacity down more. and maybe one last time. That way we have a good gradual change. This creature here has got this crazy tongue I'm going to use. Oh, come to find out it's very small. Might even be too small. It might turn out to be pixelated. We'll find out here. Now for that particular part, I'm going to click on that background layer and I'm going to cut out my lip. Or maybe just copy it. Oops.
Clarissa Martin, please step at the office.
Alright, here's my lip. I'll move that all the way to the top layer. I'll bring my tongue back in. And I'm going to put that lip over the top. Then a little careful erasing. Oop. Alright, and this is as far as I'm going to get for today.